Hello, I'm Pablo Raul, ski mountaineering coach, and welcome to the Global SKIMO YouTube channel. Today I'm here to answer another one of the most common questions I get, both on Instagram and in the comments, which is how to choose a binding for my ski touring ski. We're going to analyze each skier's profile, all the possibilities available, and I am sure this video will help you choose that ideal setting, and above all, to know what you need to know to make your choice. To start, I will begin by talking about the range of competition settings. Here we have three models that, as you can see at a glance, look the same. But there are some differences. On one hand, we have the ATK Revolution World Cup, which is the lightest, weighing only 105 grams. As you can see, the heel piece is reduced to just 2 positions for downhill and uphill. The claim from you comes standard at 18. And something I love about this attachment is that even the other two competition models have metal pins that rotate in the U when putting on the boot, and this prevents the U from wearing out. We've all had that U that wears out over time, and it starts to wear out. These bolts solve that problem and also make it easier to put on the boot. Therefore, it is one of ATK's leading technologies, and it's a very simple thing, but undoubtedly gives a boost in performance. At the front, not only do we have easy boot entry through this groove that makes the boot, when you touch there, it stays right in position, and it's very easy to put the inserts in, which is usually a problem. Surely all backcountry skiers have struggled with it, at least in the beginning. And also, something that sets this binding apart from the other is that it has an adjustment. In the stiffness of the toe, the firmness with which it locks. That hardness can be adjusted based on our strength, our weight, and how we like that sensation. We have 3 positions and can adjust them with a screwdriver. It's very simple. And also, something that solves a problem you might have encountered. It's just that the toe piece has a shape designed for all the gaps in, so that the snow doesn't stick underneath, it doesn't turn to ice underneath, and it ends up frozen, hard, and difficult to take off. Additionally, the snow doesn't stick to it. Because in the end, we're looking for very light bindings. But if the snow gets stuck and clings to us, all that weight we saved on the binding is now being carried as snow. It has a patented system where the distribution of the parts and even the treatment of the paint prevents snow from sticking to it. For this binding, they have released a new model that comes with an integrated brake. I made a video about it. If you haven't seen it, it's quite interesting. So I'll leave it above for you. With a weight of just 135 grams, it already includes an automatic brake. Besides this competition fixation, we have 2 other options. A more economical option with a similar weight. They are just 5 grams heavier. The Lightweight World Cup and the World Cup. These 2 bindings are indeed identical, and the only thing that changes is the intent, the hardness of this U piece, which makes the boot release in case of a fall. The lightweight is designed for lighter skiers and the World Cup binding. So for skiers a bit heavier, they also include this rolling in technology we've talked about in the U, which prevents wear, and also bring that system that makes it easier to insert the boot with the inserts. We're changing category. And now we move on to the speed touring range. For the skiers who aren't looking to compete but still want very light gear that lets them go fast in the mountains. For this profile, we have the 3 proposal, which I have ordered by increasing weight. As you can see, they all have the particularity that they already come with a plate on the back. So it allows us some flexibility and to adapt it to different boots. Change boots and still use the same ski. unlike in competitions where everything is customized. The lightest of these three is the Trofeo Plus, 145 gram binding, which if you look closely has the same philosophy as a competition binding. Only 2 positions in the back, and the toe piece, very similar to the last ones we've seen. But it already includes the attachment to put on the ski crampon. As for the peculiarities of this setup, it does not allow for adjustment of the claim. It happened as in competition, the U determines that claim. But it does allow you to set it to the tension you want. It simply comes with a different U and can be ordered with DN settings from 4 to 10. From here to there, it will go like that. And in terms of technology, it has the quick entry system with this small lever that touches the boot and makes it much easier to insert the bolts. When we look for something more in features in the binding, adjusting the tension as we move to this auto fixation, which already comes with multiple elevation positions. We can go to this height, we can rotate it without any elevation, we can set a higher elevation, giving us more flexibility. Additionally, we can adjust the tension both horizontally and vertically. And we have more conveniences because the site is magnetized, which makes so that it's easier to move it simply with the pole, as lifting it slightly puts it in the position we want, and it also achieves so it doesn't lift up. Being magnetized, it stays in place a bit better, and we have to use a bit more strength at the beginning to lift it, and this avoids something that might have happened to you, which is that the heel kinda makes noise, it taps while we're walking, sometimes when it gets a bit loose. In the case of the U, the rear insert, it does not have it. That rolling in system we talked about in the competition bindings, but it does come with some side rail, which allows the U to have some play, and therefore, when we apply pressure with the boot, it enters much more easily as it moves a bit, little, and it doesn't have to be under total pressure anymore, but instead, to some extent, the U adapts a bit. This is also very appreciated when skiing downhill, as it doesn't take all the force in that part of the boot, but the U adapts somewhat to the forces we exert. And yeah, if you fall, it easily pops back in place thanks to that little slot. As you can see in the star binding for that speed touring profile, with a bunch of conveniences, and the surprising thing is it keeps a weight of 165 grams, which is amazing. It allows us to mount it on a very, very light setup. And in this same family, we have the Couloir LT. The most affordable binding of these three, a bit heavier though, is at 200 grams. Again, like the trophy and like competing, it only has 2 positions. But it does allow for adjusting the tension and also has a trolley, which makes it easier because this plate system with these 2 fastenings makes it easier. Since you just need a screwdriver, we move the heel counter forward or backward. And as for the toe piece, well, the shape we're used to, shared by the other 2 bindings, that's for sure. With more springs, which makes it more affordable, and they add that extra weight. And something you're surely noticing is that these 3 bindings come with this leash. I want to dedicate an exclusive video for this, about my opinion on what's better, using the leash or using a brake, or if you don't have anything. I'm gonna make a video specifically talking about it, so that you understand the advantages and disadvantages of each system. Anyway, as you can see, to go light, you have to do without the brake, and that's why this whole family comes without a brake, simply with the leash. Continuing with the collection, and here we come. for those touring skiers who enjoy mountain excursions.
They keep looking for lightness, but it's no longer the main factor or the deal breaker.
They are looking for safety, comfort, lower costs, and for them we have much more to choose from. Let's start with the couloir brake, which is exactly the same as the last one we explained, but that incorporates the brakes at the back. The addition of the brake increases its weight by 50 grams and to a very comfortable brake that it just by pressing this button. It activates, and when pressed with the boot it remains folded but active. In case of a fall, it will release. The next model I'm going to talk about the upcoming
RT8 and RT10.
Again, the only difference between these two models is the tension of the U. In this case, the mounting does allow adjustments.
So the RT8 starts from 3 and goes up to 8. You can adjust both the horizontal and vertical tension.
And in the RT10 case, it ranges from 5 to 10. That's what sets these two apart. Again, it incorporates the same brake system with the same button and comes in a cart that is very easy to adjust to the size of our boot. The big difference with the previous model in weight is not much, it's only 10 grams more, but in technology it takes a leap compared to the couloir. Include this magnetic lift we mentioned earlier. It comes with that system, ease of entry, with 2 rails for the rear bolts, the toe piece, and this is something that makes it very powerful. You also get adjust the hardness with which the front part is locked. And again, this is something that
there's always an ATK.
And that comes with the easy entry system, which makes it much easier to put the boot on, since you place it, it clicks with a tab and stays in the exact spot, so that with a bit of force the binding closes with the button, exact point. After this we have the Crest 10, which is very similar to the RT, but with less technology, making it a bit more affordable. It doesn't include the hardness adjustment of the toe cup, and it increases its weight by a few grams. This one is already at 280 grams. Again, there is both the Crest 10 and the Crest 8, where only the tension adjustment changes, as we mentioned in the previous model. For those lighter skiers, even kids, ATK has released the Candy, which is a binding where the tension can be adjusted from 1.5 to 5. Still maintains the easy entry with the pins, and it's also the most affordable binding of all the ones we've seen. And finally, an innovative bet from ATK.
This front 9 that has the brake in the front, unlike all the other models that have it in the back. And the unique feature is that it's an automatic brake. We don't have to press a button to unlock or lock it.
But it's combined with the toe lever, so when we take off the ski, the brake automatically engages when we put on the ski and lock it.
The brake stays retracted, so it makes handling the material a bit easier. It has a magnetic lift. In fact, it includes one more side than the other setups. Look at the magnet. See how strong it is.
It's just that by bringing it closer, it's already going up. Again, the bolts have that easy entry. We can adjust the tension both horizontally and vertically, and the weight is already above 300 grams. It weighs 320 grams. And to wrap it up, let's talk about the free ride range, or free ride and touring for those skiers who want to ski aggressively, whose main goal is the descent, use it backcountry skiing to get to that spot. But while that is being done, focus on the line, planning to ski aggressively, do jumps, and need a binding that can handle it all. Here in the entire range, the bindings come with almost all the technologies I talked about today. And the main difference is in the stiffness how rigid they become, depending on the type of skiing we intend to do, and the weight of the ski. We have the Rider 12, which is somewhat different from the rest of the range, mainly due to its tip. That has a bit less technology than the next one. Of course, it's the one in terms of its weight. It's lighter, stays at 305 grams, and it's a great way to have a ski. Very downhill oriented, but in ascent, we don't suffer as much since it significantly lightens the total weight of the ski. It features all the technologies I've mentioned, like magnetic sights, easy entry, tension adjustment on both axes, the same brake system that activates with a button, a very powerful option for that first ski. If we want a leap in technology, the main difference is that both the Rider 12,
like the Freerider 14 and the Freerider 16, they come with the same toe technology that Revolution had.
That lets us adjust the stiffness of the spring included in the toe piece. Also, it comes with that design, that piece arrangement that prevents snow from getting stuck and accumulating in the binding. And among these three bindings, the differentiating factor, what sets one apart from the other, aside from the fact that each one gets slightly heavier by a few grams. 335, 360, and 370 grams. The adjustability of that tension we have. In this one, it goes up to 12. In the Freerider 14, it goes up to 14, and in the Freerider 16.
Exactly.
I really want to invite you to bet on the skiers from You Can't Ski Harder with these types of bindings, low tech, highly tested, with a lot of technology. And finally, forget about those bindings that are more like alpine skiing.
And that greatly increase the weight of the ski, and on the way up, don't make it suffer as much. We have bindings weighing less than 400 grams.
With incredible features, and above all, very safe in the event of a fall. As an additional feature, notice that here, it comes with the extra support called freeride spacer, which is for when the boot lands on the binding.
It is not just anchored,
Back and forth.
and it stays exposed, as is common in mountain skiing.
But it should have that support, and the sole should be in direct contact with the sole of the skis. So when jumping, when pressing hard on the ski, we have that direct contact and better transmission of forces so necessary when doing more aggressive skiing.
That's all. I hope you found the video helpful. I think it covered everything.
Here is a video where I explained all the ATK technologies one by one, so you can get to know them.
And you can see later, when you go to check your model, which ones it includes and which ones it doesn't, of all the things I've been mentioning. Leave a like if you enjoy this kind of content, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. See you soon. Bye.